end up at the dealership in Worcester instead of at his house. But I go back to his house. I get the Multistrada. I'm going to ride it back to Georgia. And I'm going down 555, the very road on which that very motorcycle, had inspired me to trade for it.
Mm-hmm.
And a number of things happened. I hit a tar snake while going faster, I guess, than I should have been, although it was a cool, cloudy day, not a hot, sunny day. And the front end slipped, and it shook my confidence. And then I started to realize my eyesight is not working like it normally does. When I look at the vanishing point in a corner, it's not, my brain is not causing me to select the correct lean angle to ride to that point. I'm wobbling all over the road and feeling uncomfortable. And then I lost the front again in an area that had been recently repay, whatever they call it there. It basically was gravel and oil. And long story short, by the time I got to the river, which is 75 miles, my confidence was so shaken that I was riding 5 mile an hour under the warning signs tell you how fast the corner should be, and holding up locals in their Camrys. It was like I forgot how to ride a motorcycle. It was the most jarring motorcycle experience I've had in probably 40 years.
Wow!
And I have no explanation for it to this day. The next time I thought I had a brain tumor. I thought, you know what? You got a brain tumor, Despain. You're 64 years old. You got a fucking brain tumor. You're trying to go around these corners, and your brain is no longer able to communicate, calculate the lean angle and figure out how to ride to the vanishing point. You're done. You're toast. You're history. And then I went out the next time, and it was fine. I thought, I need to get my eyes checked. I need to get my ears checked. Maybe it's an inner problem. Maybe it's a balance thing. I have no explanation for it. It was the strangest thing that has happened to me in the last 25 years. It's like forgetting how to walk. I don't know how to explain it. It was traumatic. It was traumatic. It's like for the average person, you're going through your life, everything's normal, and then all of a sudden somebody just shuts off the circuit that tells you the difference between right and left. It's like, wait a minute, nothing makes sense anymore. I had a hard time with that. I don't know, and I don't know why I'm confessing it on this show, but it took me,
we won't tell anybody.
Yeah, right. Just your hundreds of thousands of listeners. The next time I went out, it was on my KLR, and I rode, 75 miles of pretty decent twisties, and all of the, all those fundamental connections were still there. When if everybody knows, I think, everybody that's serious about this knows, you're going to go where you look. So look where you want to go.
Yep.
That's so basic that it's again, it's the difference between right and left. If all of a sudden somebody flips a switch and that circuit isn't working anymore, it's really traumatic. So when I went back out on the KLR and was making a point of, look where you want to go, look at the vanishing point, look, 12 seconds up the road, all the rest of that, and it all worked, it kind of reassured me that whatever I had just experienced with 555 and the Ducati was an anomaly. But at the same time, that happened, so in the back of your mind, there's this circuit that's saying, well, this could happen again. You could be in the middle of a corner where you've pushed yourself out to the outside edge of the envelope, and now all of a sudden, in the middle of that corner, somebody suspends the rules, and gravity no longer, yeah, I mean, it's startling, and I don't have any big conclusion to draw from that, except maybe always keep if you go to the track day, go 98%. If you're on the street, keep yourself 10, 15, 20% of margin of safety in hand for the unexpected, which not only includes the possibility that there might be some wacko on a GSXR coming the other way in your lane, but also the possibility that your brain all of a sudden will stop functioning and you'll find yourself unable to select the lean angle with which to complete the corner, because that's what happened to me, and it was weird. It's the freakiest thing that has happened to me in 40 years of riding motorcycles.
That's crazy. The good thing was you had a bike that you were very familiar with to jump on, to go back and to reprogram your reboot your mind or something.
Yeah. And I've thought about that. I mean, I've thought about the whole mental process that went into getting my confidence back, because it came right back. I mean, I know how to ride motorcycles.
Sure.
I know all this stuff that I've learned over 40 years. I know that you brake hard in a straight line, and then when you tip it in, you ease off on the brakes, and you split the difference between your cornering traction and your braking traction. You brake to the exit, you roll the throttle. I mean, I know all that stuff.
Sure.
And I do all that stuff. But when all of a sudden you just sort of drive through this barrier into the twilight zone, it makes you appreciate the extent to which it goes back, I think, to what we were talking about how motorcycles differ from cages. You can never lose sight of the fact that when you're on a motorcycle, you're in a different environment which does not provide you the safety margin that the rest of the world gets. You don't have a belt, you don't have a bag, you don't have a buzzer. All you've got is what's between your ears and the physical skills that you've developed, however you've developed them. That's all you've got. And if some component of that fails, it's like your computer.
Yeah.
Well, it worked yesterday. Well, it doesn't work now. Okay, well, what you better be thinking about is the fact that it doesn't work now. You better think about the fact that you're going 60 miles an hour through a blind corner at the edge of the lean angle, at the edge of the tire, and you have no clue what's going to happen next. That's what you need to be dealing with. It's a humbling experience. I suppose in retrospect, I'm glad I had it, because it'll probably affect the way I ride henceforth. But it also reinforced for me, after all these years, the uncertainty of what it is we do.
Pirate News Radio, Pirate News Radio, Pirate News Radio.
Kilo 9, Fox Whiskey Hotel, number 459, Mexico, November 3, Oscar Charlie, check 73, Mike Delta Charlie.